Like, what's it like in the hand, Jason? You know, is it too thin? But nobody's asked me
Hey,
yet
you
if
know
they
what? That's what the Lord gave me. That's what it is. It's what it is.
listen.
Still
Lots
too
of guys have
thin?
little hands,
I mean, it's not girthy. It's not girthy.
but honestly, like nobody's asked me if it batons yet. So
Oh, that's good. Maybe that's dead.
I wonder if the social media terrorist from Texas likes to baton chicken wire with it.
I'm sure he will somehow manipulate Benchmade into giving him one at some point.
Probably.
Yes.
Welcome to FFIB, everybody. I am Jason, and that is Tom, and we are Finger Flicked in Box. We are late this evening because I was at my niece's birthday party until about 20 minutes ago, and I just got
dropped
home.
some ecstasy?
What's that?
You dropped some ecstasy? Get wild at the party?
My niece's birthday party, my niece.
Yeah, dude.
We ran out.
Oh, just you by yourself. Take it. It's a great time just by yourself.
She turned 18.
Oh.
She's legally liable as an adult. One of her friends came over to pick her up. They were going to go out and hang out, and that was what my brother-in-law told her. He goes, "Hey, you get arrested, you're on your own." She was like, "Dad." So I remember those days.
I remember the night that I turned 18, I went and bought some like backwoods cigars, I think. And then I went directly to the Adult Supercenter porn store at midnight because I could have been waiting to get in there, beating the door down to get in there since I was my whole teenager years.
Yeah.
Beating off the door to get in.
Beating the door down with a vigorous grip. Let's see. I bought a shotgun, and then I bought some cigarettes, and then I registered for the draft. Yeah.
I don't think I ever did that.
And then I stayed up till I stayed up late and drove through that one town where you weren't allowed to be out after 10:30. Drove through there. But, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it's been a long, hard week for me, and I'm worn out. I had a really cool meeting with a coworker, like a vendor at work. And dude brought me a jar of apple pie moonshine as a gift. And that, my friends, is how you remain good friends with your customers. You bring them apple pie moonshine.
This different moonshine than you were talking about the other day, like a couple weeks ago?
It turns out I have two sources of moonshine in my life, and they don't know each other. Yeah.
Good.
So go ahead and know those moonshiners because they're resourceful people. Yeah, this thing looks like apple cider. It's that thick in color. And I had a glass last night sitting on my front porch making a knife video. And then I had another glass, and then that was definitely one too many. So the rest of the evening I spent in a stupor while I waited for the Aurora Borealis to come. It did not come in Indiana.
Did it not come, or do you have to view it through a camera or something like that?
It was Boulder south of us, and it was Boulder north of us, but not in Indiana. So my other friends said that they didn't see it either. So, guy, flavored whiskey, and then there's moonshine with cinnamon sticks in it. This was not like some sort of store-bought with moonshine. This was the real thing. So, yeah, it just sort of hit different, Tom.
Making sure this is sprinkled around the group in enough places that people can find it.
Ooh, good point. Is it pinned?
It is.
Normally we pin it immediately.
I had it pinned before we started, actually, because you can do that.
That is a nice feature.
And there's people in here waiting for us before it was started, even, too.
Yes. P. Brian was waiting for us to get started. Well, let's start with some new knife talk, Tom. So it's not new, but it's new to me. I acquired a Benchmade Narrows.
Ooh.
This knife is a departure from the standard fare for Benchmade. They made a couple innovations on this knife, and all anyone wants to talk about is how expensive it is. That's all they want to talk about. We're all clamoring for Payzons. and Drunkens and Nirvanas,
PM2s for that matter at this point.
Liz Bowies. We're clamoring for titanium Spydercos that are made in titanium. This knife is made in Oregon by Benchmade. The titanium itself, fun fact, you guys may not know this, but titanium is not found in United States mines. We have titanium, but we don't mine for it because mining means digging, and digging is bad for the environment. And we would rather let someone else dig in their country and then pretend like that's okay. So most titanium comes from Russia. Well, Benchmade doesn't want Russian titanium. They sourced American titanium. This is not hard to get, not easy to get. So this is different tie.
Oh, weird.
Also, the SR-71 Blackbird spy plane, that was all Russian titanium.
Huh.
All of them. So this knife is American titanium, made in Oregon. It features an extremely thin profile. So if I put this next to a Spy Moto, it's half thick.
Do you have you don't have
We're going to go to the calipers, Tom.
Okay.
So if I think about innovation, right? We like innovation in the knife world. This knife is very innovative. Not only is it made different from other Benchmades, but it also features a lock that's very different from the rest. So this knife is 7.1 millimeters thick. And let's see, PM2. PM2 is 11.5 millimeters. So we're talking about a significantly thinner knife than a PM2. What else is interesting? The lock itself, instead of having an Omega spring in the back that breaks all the time, it has a coil around a standoff that's attached to this bar lock. So it feels very, very comfortable and very smooth. And a lot of times I've noticed that the pivot itself on a Benchmade can be kind of gritty. Have you noticed that, Tom?
I haven't handled enough for a long time, to be honest.
They're not smooth like a Holt. Sometimes they're a little janky. This thing is very smooth. It glides nicely. It's very nice in the pocket. It's a nice size. The blade is 3.4 inches. So same as a Sliz Bowie.
Yeah.
Really innovative knife. Many have asked me, is it too thin, Jason? It is rather thin.
Then cut your hand off. Put a hole in it.
If you like a nice fat round knife that's not so good in your pocket, then you may not love this. But if you like a knife that's glorious in your pocket, and those 2 times a day where you cut something, you want something that's going to cut well, this is a great choice. Like, this is a really nice pocket-friendly knife. And it's also ambidextrous, by the way. Very ambidextrous.
Do you have your Rask? Is it as thin as a Rask or thinner than a Rask?
Rask is a nice choice, Tom. Rask is really thin. So we got here. I said 7.1 millimeters.
So, yes.
The Rask is 10.1.
Damn.
So we're talking 30% thinner than a Rask. So very, very thin. So I believe these are $522 right now at cutleryshop.com. This happens to be Jeff's knife. It's not my knife. And he sent it to me because I had some questions about this knife. Everybody's been shitting on it. And I wanted to know for myself. I said, do you have one? Have you held one? What do you think? And he goes, I'm going to send you one. So he sent it over for me to check out. And I'm very impressed by it. It has a lot of things going for it. And it's not for everybody. I mean, if I compare this knife to, say, a Koenig, Koenig's going to be $740 to $770, depending on the features that you choose. This is only $520. So we're talking big factory versus small factory. It is not apples to apples. This is not the same thing as a Koenig. However, if you're talking titanium M390 made in America on bearings, it has those things in common. So is it expensive compared to other things on the market? I don't think so. Is it an interesting foray for Benchmade to kind of move away from the same old? I think it's exciting. And I think when they discontinue this knife, People are going to clamor for it the same way they did the Anthem.
The Anthem's one I still don't understand that one. I didn't get it when it was around, and I don't get it when it's gone. But that one makes a lot more sense to me than the Anthem does. That one is more appealing to me.
Between the two, I prefer the shape of the Anthem. This one appeals to my hand more. The way that it sits in the hand, it's a bigger grip. So in my paws, I like this knife better.
Yeah.
But I think the day will come when they don't make the narrows anymore, and folks are going to be collecting it, and they're going to be laughing about how they got it for cheap and nobody else wanted them. I've seen these go used in the $400 range. So they can be had out there.
Yeah.
One final comment. According to Benchmade, they're cooking the M390 at like 59 to 61 hardness. That is not optimal, according to Laren Thomas, and it's not optimal according to, a lot of other knife makers out there. They're going to tell you that you're going to want to be around 63 to get the best edge retention out of it. But I think with Benchmade, we all know that they tend to go on the soft end because they're trying to make a knife blade that's more durable. So you should find that the toughness is a little bit higher on these versus other people's M390. And since it's not mine, I'm not going to cut this shit out of it and find out what the edge is like. But I can't think that 1 or 2 hardness points is going to make a huge difference. But it is interesting that Spyderco is always like literally on the cutting edge of steels and edge retention and really driving performance.
Yeah.
And I don't always see that from other manufacturers. Not to pick on Benchmade, but many other knife makers that we can all name, they don't put a priority on it the way that Spyderco does. Quai Carry Drift. Good question. The Drift is one of my very favorite knives. It's not often that I'll go, I don't want to carry that one today. So even the Drift, the Mighty Drift is 9.4 millimeters. So the narrows is thinner.
Wow.
By 20%. Well, Tom, I have one more here that's new. We got this fella.
I don't even want to hear about it. I don't want to see it. I've seen enough Spy Mitos.
You've seen enough?
I've seen
Never,
enough.
sir.
I've heard enough. I can't. No, I've actually not seen anyone demonstrate one yet. I've just seen a lot of people talking about them dropping.
It has some interesting features on it that I've never seen before because I'm not a big line steel guy. To start with, the flipper tab can be removed, Tom.
That is interesting.
It has a little Torx screw in the bottom of it, so you can pop that sucker off and you can put it in the box and you don't have to worry about it anymore.
That's good.
Interesting feature. I was talking to Chris Ortiz of Cerberus Knives earlier today, and I was asking him why the lock bar is so far removed from the handle. And Chris told me that if you use a larger diameter bit, it can spin slower, and it allows you to cut a larger groove. Whereas if you use a tiny bit, it has to spin faster. The tiny bits break more than the big bits. So in his opinion, they probably did this partially for a design aesthetic, but also because bigger bits last longer, and they're able to cut a wider path. One thing that's interesting is the end of the lock bar is part of the lock bar insert. So the lock bar insert is not really an insert. It's actually the tip of the lock bar itself. So if you think about durability, that steel on steel interface is going on there. But some knife makers might say that that's sort of cheating. Not running the titanium all the way out to the end. Something I don't see in other knife makers. We have M398 steel. M398 is a fantastically stainless steel. It's also a really high edge retention steel. It's been used in Europe for a long time, so I'm not surprised that Line Steel is using it. It has a hollow grind, and the hollow grind is very well done. It says Line Steel on one side. It has a spider on the other.
Got a hole in it. That's always a good sign, though.
It's got a great big old hole in it, so it's easy to open. You got a floating backspacer there. You can see through that.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
Floating backspacer looks pretty cool. The pocket clip is interesting. A lot of clearance on it. It's kind of a quasi Spyderco style spider, with the spoon on it.
Yeah, it is.
A lot of clearance. It is ambidextrous, I suppose. You could flip it around and run it out the other side of the knife if you don't care about the way your knife looks. Great big hole in it. I'm glad there's an extra hole, just in case.
Just in case you need a handle for your handle.
Just in case yeah, exactly. I need a handle. Overall, kind of cool, kind of different, kind of exactly a line steel with a hole in it.
I wonder if people understand that part of it. That I'm not gonna say it's not a real Spyderco, but I wonder if people really fully understand that is literally another knife manufacturer made that knife, and then Spyderco is co-branding it. That just, or how many people just buy it thinking it's a Spyderco and it's going to be exactly the same as our PM2?
It's a good question. I don't think people think about that. So Line Steel is a factory in Italy. They make their own brand of knives. This is a co-branded knife where they took an existing Line Steel design and they added a hole. So it's sort of been spideyed, but really this is is that a hollow grind blade? It is not. That's a flat grind. Called it hollow earlier. But yes, it is not. It is not made in a Spyderco factory. But again, neither are the Seki City knives, neither are the Taichung knives. So overall, is it cool? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's got a nice grip on it. It's a good shape, good thickness. Feels good in the hand. Good clip. Don't love the flipper tab. Love that I can get rid of it.
That's
It
pretty
does
good.
open well with the thumb. If you do it right. It's a little bit light in the tip, so it doesn't fly open like some knives do, but it does have a crown spine. I know you like a crown spine.
That is positive.
Hard to get a crown spine.
What number is yours, or that one?
This one is 455, I believe.
So I've heard the number 2000 thrown around about how many there are.
Yes.
And with the rate at how fast they sell out at dealers, still, if there hasn't been a drop for a couple days, I am wondering if this is really they're going through their first shipment or if this is the only shipment, because this has been unbelievably popular, it seems like, based on how fast these drops are selling out. This is like something I haven't seen in a little bit.
Yeah.
For a sprint run. They're
selling fast. It does say 455 of 2000, so they will be capping it at 2000. Since they're not being sold through the company store at a discount, that will help. Tom and I know a guy that used to be in the hobby that would wait for flash batches and sprints to drop at the Spyderco store, and then he'd call in and he'd buy them 10 or 20 at a time using his Ops Focus discount, and then he would sell them for profit in the group. So can't do that anymore.
Yeah, so most of them are going to be sold at dealers then, based on the fact that you can only get stuff from the Spyderco website that's non-sprint run via Ops Focus now.
Yep. If you want to buy it at spyderco.com, it's going to cost you full retail.
Yep.
Greco's here. Osspider's here. Yeah, M398 is good enough for a club knife.
That's one concern I have is I hope it performs well on that knife, not just before, because I hope it does, but I hope it doesn't like taint any possible reputation that steel has based on it possibly being cooked different than what the club knife ends up being.
Well, we know it will be because it's a different factory, right?
Yeah.
So it won't be exactly the same, but it'll be fun to compare it when that finally comes out.
Yeah.
Lauren's here. What's up, Lauren? Yeah, it's I hope everybody remembers this Spymoto, because we hear all the time, don't we, that Spyderco keep making the same old thing. We hear something really different. Like this is a delightful little knife, and the pricing is good. It
Yeah.
has a lot going for it. The features are cool. If you follow Vic Wu, you've seen him change the color of his 3 or 4 times. So it's part of the fun of Micarta is you can dye it and you can change the color. So, you know, if you like Spideys, but you want something a little bit different, here it is. Here's your shot. You do not have to buy them on eBay. You do not have to buy them on eBay. You don't have to buy them on eBay.
Don't even look at eBay for prices of knives if you're in the
Make
knife
them
market.
stop telling us what they're going for on eBay. We don't care what they cost on eBay. It's not real. People sell. Do you guys know that they list things on eBay without possessing them? They just go ahead and list it as soon as the knife is announced. They put a price on it that's absurd. And then in really fine print, they might say, "Will ship when available." That's if it's available. So yeah, don't do that, Danny.
Or people that shop
Danny,
on
you're
eBay
banned.
also aren't, you know, they don't, people that buy stuff on eBay, they usually don't know that the Facebook groups exist, that they can go to them and they can get them on the secondary market there instead.
Yep.
eBay doesn't want you to find that out.
Well, Tom, what about you? Did you get anything cool or interesting across your desk this week?
I don't think so. I got a box of stuff to sharpen. I can show off some knives that I have to sharpen in front of me that aren't mine.
Yeah, what do you got?
I got, this one's the next thing I'm going to sharpen. I haven't done a video for about a week, so I'm going to do this one on video. I got another Olamic. I'm not sure what the model of this one is called, but it's a nice size knife. It fits my hand perfectly. It's got a good blade. It's got great action. I've sharpened a couple of Lamics so far, and I really like them. They're very organic and alien looking sometimes, but they work really well in hand.
I don't own any, and I want to like them, and I like their build quality, and I like that they're different. But overall, probably not my favorite maker. The organic thing, you hit it on the head. They look like set pieces from
Alien
movie. Yeah.
Let's see what else we got in here. We got this guy. He sent me a couple knives to send back with the Koenig mini areas he bought from me. I should have just sent the mini areas because by the time I get this all packed up with the Koenig box, it's going to be like a big box. Got a horsey knife, one of these horsey guys.
Yeah.
Which I will say, I got to give him credit. I'm not a huge Hinderer fan, but I do like how this is like the one maker that overuses a flipper, but makes the choil usable in front of the flipper tab, which is,
it's not a flipper, Tom. It's a front finger guard.
it's a stand to set your knife on.
It is. It's kickstand.
It's a kickstand.
Yeah.
Yes, the front finger guard does fit over your finger. I do like that about that. So I've had some Hinderers. They might all look the same, but a lot of them feel different to me in hand. This one's kind of nice. It flips well. Let's see what else we got in this little box of goodies here. This is gonna be a good sharpening session because I got a bunch of non-Spydercos. That's what I've been busting out. So apparently he has 2 mini Arises because he sent me his other one to sharpen and he bought one from me. Okay. And last up, let's see what we got here. This is always a fun part, though. It's like I get these boxes in. It used to be I just like would set them to the side. I put the date on them and I leave them all sealed up because I don't want to accidentally like knock them over or mix up people's knives. But now I'm not gonna lie, I get packages in. It's like new knife day for me, and I get to open up stuff and check out cool knives. Ooh, I do like these.
Playing with other people's knives is almost as good as playing with your own.
It is.
Was that a
ProTech? Is it a Malibu? Yeah.
Looks like a Malibu sheep's foot.
I will say I just had it graze my palm with the tip. That didn't feel great. It's not bleeding yet. Left a little mark there. Yeah.
I think ProTech is one of the cooler makers out there right now. They're making really, really, really good knives at a good price. And the secret to their success is that they use aluminum instead of titanium. It's easier to manufacture. It's easier to machine. It's easier to work with. It's cheaper. Like, it's just really a good material.
Yeah, so I got a box of goodies to sharpen, and I'll put that put that on live YouTube. It's funny, like I always like to get a video, like at least 1 or 2 videos sharpening down a week. But if I'm not sharpening a lot, it's actually a really good thing. Because if I'm sharpening like 10 times a day and I'm busting out stuff and people are sending in stuff to more sharp, probably means I'm not mentally well. Because when I sharpen, it's my distraction. So when I sharpen a lot, it usually means there's a lot going on in my head, and that's how I just like shut that shit out. Is sharpening is like one of the few activities that reliably I can take myself out of my head like almost immediately. It doesn't take a lot of overthinking, but I can just shut my brain off when I sharpen.
Yeah.
And so when I'm doing a lot of sharpening, it feels productive and feels good and stuff. But usually it's because I'm running from something in my own mind that I'm trying to escape. So haven't been doing a ton on video, which is it's okay.
Good.
I got other good things going on too. It is nice making money. Guys, when I get on a roll like that, the money starts flowing and it's kind of nice. Doing one or two once in a while isn't quite the same.
Sure.
But yeah, it's always a treat getting new stuff in. I did a bunch of Spydercos last week. And that was also nice, just doing Spydercos, because like doing the same exact knife, it's like a challenge. Like I know what I can make it look like, and I can make another one look exactly the same, and make it look exactly as perfect. And I don't know. I like challenges. I like new stuff. I like different stuff. It's all fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I do enjoy doing satin edges now as much as possible. It's just those last 3 stones when you're just polishing stuff, it's no fun when like steel dust and parts of the blades are falling off and you're like cutting on steel. When you're polishing, you're just like, am I done? Is this done? I think I'm done, but I can't be done because if I'm done, I might have scratches. And you just go for no reason and keep on going and going and going. That's how I get in that mode when I'm doing polished edges all day.
Yeah.
So you have some cool stuff on your desk. I still got a box of Kunlus that I got to send back to you. It's sitting right here.
You have them sitting right there?
Yeah.
How about you go through them and talk about them on camera?
Okay.
That'd be good. So, guys, if you don't know, Kunlu is a fairly small knife company. They're made in mainland China. They're designed by Sergio Bodrick, who's in the group. Sergio has become kind of a friend of mine. The guy's pretty sweet, and he has sent a couple Kunlus my way to check out, and I've been sending them around for people to see. And I think they're really well made. They're really well done. His designs are interesting. They're very functional, and the prices are great. So that's called the X Tau, and I don't know that it's in production currently. That one features a carbon fiber handle. It was at LMAX Steel.
LMAX Steel, first production 157 of 400.
Yeah,
it's got an access lock, but it's really, really, really soft touch to it. And it's got a nice feeling little. This is actually kind of nice. It's metal. It's like ergonomic. It's got some grip to it. It's like thought out. Actually, it's not just
like an oval button.
Yeah.
And then the thumb studs are not studs, right?
Yeah, the thumb studs are like wedges.
Yeah. I really like that knife a lot. I like carrying it. I like using it. It's really comfortable in the hand and pocket. Doesn't weigh a lot.
So next up, we got the big boy. We got the lefty Padre. I mean, these I'm sure most people have seen somewhere on the group by now because these I see pop up a lot. I like it a lot. I know, like, I have to be careful whenever I say things like this when you compare design language between makers, like, oh, this looks like that knife or this looks like that knife. And I don't accuse anyone of stealing everyone's stealing everyone's designs because there are only so many ways you can make a knife shaped. It's just that simple. But this is like a cooler version to me of a rotten Evo or whatever. Like it's the same shape ish. I like this better though.
It's really good, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't think that's even a $300 knife.
Yeah, that's crazy.
If I remember right, it's under 300. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but at that price, that's a hell of a knife, and it is available lefty, which is pretty sweet. I believe that one was available with the diamond titanium or with carbon fiber. And I don't recall the blade steel. Is that MagnaCut?
It is not visible. Oh, Vanix.
Vanix. So it's a stone-washed Vanix?
Yes, it's very
Wow.
darkened and stonewashed-y.
You know, I might send that off to Walter Calico to get it polished out. Greco's saying they're $330. That could be right. I don't remember the price. The prices are really good.
They sell out when they come in stock. I know that. Another one of this one is a different one. This is a Pulsar.
The Pulsar is available in a standard and an XL. That's the standard size, and it's a really, really cool blade shape. A lot of blade in a pretty small handle. That's a. Oh, by the way, Tom, I have not futzed with the Padre or with either of the Pulsars. That's how they came out of the box.
It's very, very good action.
The X Tau I took apart, but that one hasn't been taken apart, so that's not been messed with. Now, one thing that Sergio does well is he has people that literally hand tune those knives before they go in the box. He's had to train his team on how to do that.
Look at this goofball. Look at this goofball on camera trying to be sneaky in here.
Oh my goodness. Shame.
Lives.
I see you. I like your hair. Okay, bye. She's like my hair. It's all piled up.
Yeah.
Is there also a carbon fiber Pulsar?
Yeah.
Now that one has a DLC finish. What do you think of the DLC?
It's really good. That's what's weird about coatings to me, though, is like expensive coatings look very similar to cheap coatings, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
This looks like it could be expensive or it looks like it could be cheap, but if it's actually DLC, it looks really nice.
That is actually DLC. So that's something else when you're dealing with somebody that actually knows and understands knives. Sergio has put a lot of time into making that DLC look good. So there are a few companies out there that can get shiny DLC going, but the amount of blade prep that's necessary to pull it off is a lot.
Yeah.
So I prefer the carbon fiber to the titanium. What do you think?
They're both good in their own way. The titanium's definitely like it's got some grip to it because of this texture.
Yeah,
the texture can be a bit much, possibly. Titanium or carbon fiber is a lot lighter, obviously too. They're both pretty good.
I think I want the edges on the carbon fiber a little more refined.
Yeah,
they feel a little unfinished, whereas the titanium is a little too grippy. So I think when I get those back, I'm going to take the tie and I'm going to sand them a little bit on the carbon. I'm going to sand the carbon fiber a little bit, smooth it out, and I think I'll like it even more. I don't know many companies that are doing the DLC as well as Kunwu right now. I think Sergio said they've got 10 different kinds of DLC they're doing right now, depending on the blade finish and the texture of the DLC. But that shiny DLC is really great. So guys, when you think about DLC, what you want to think about is it is an abrasion resistant coating. So it's made out of carbon and it's very abrasion resistant. So it's going to take a lot to rub it off the surface of the knife, but it doesn't mean that it makes the steel scratch proof, because you can think of it as like an egg. If you think about a hard-boiled egg, the shell of the egg is very, very hard. But if you push your fingernail into it, you can crack it because the interior of the egg is softer than the cover. That makes sense. So you can damage DLC if you were to like take a thumbtack and push really hard and drag it across the surface. You could just dent the steel and scratch off the DLC. So with really heavy handedness, you could damage it. But if you just take a staple and rub it against the DLC, it's not going to scratch it. Mailman in house. What's up?
Hello.
I like the orange peel handle. Orange peel titanium is really nice to live with. It doesn't scratch easily. It's not my favorite to look at, but it's really functional. Well, cool. Yeah, I've been meaning to ask you to send those back, but putting them on camera was a good idea.
Yeah. What's going on? So, you got any other knives on you? Are we good? We caught up on knives, new stuff?
I'm still carrying my Lumia version 4. I think I showed this off before with you guys. This is an Alex Steingraber knife, Steingraber Performance Knives, made in New York, Rochester, I think. So his new version 4 features a ergonomically, what do they call that?
Contoured.
Thank you. Contoured handle. The milling is very beautiful. It catches a really nice shimmer, and the grip is great. He calls this his nature grip. So it has a really great grip in the hand. And yeah, just really an excellent knife. I've been carrying this more than I thought I would. I wanted to like this knife, and sometimes when you want to like something, you know you're not going to.
Yeah.
So you know how that is. You pour your hopes and dreams into something you don't own yet. You're like, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna talk myself into it. Well, after having had this for a few weeks, I really like it. It's a really well-made knife.
Nice. Wait, what was the scale on that one again? That one was...
This is LMAX.
That's right.
That's all that for now that's on my desk. That's about it that I've been carrying. Crazy Jerry wants an update on the club knife. We do not have an update. There is no update. That knife was supposed to ship a couple times, and we've missed all those deadlines. So I almost don't like talking about it because it embarrasses me every time we talk about it. But I don't have it. But you guys will be the first to know.
What else we got going on around here? We are going on our first family vacation here in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
We are traveling to Las Vegas, Nevada as a family of 4. And it's going to be interesting. Kids have never been on an airplane. And I haven't been to Vegas since my bachelor party, which was a while ago, and I don't remember much of it. So it'll be like a new experience in a new town for me. With the family.
I got some travel advice for you. Your suitcases are limited to 50 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend don't give a shit.
Okay.
If it's overweight, so what? They charge you $100. Who cares? It's easier to have a heavy suitcase than carry 2 suitcases.
Well, we're just going to do... Kim bought a new carry-on. I'm ordering a carry-on on Monday when a new one drops. I'm excited for. And then we're both going to have backpacks. And it's hot, so stuff's not going to take up a lot of space, is the idea. So we should be able to just do a carry-on each. We're not checking a bag.
What about the kids?
Kid stuff's going in our stuff. Kid stuff's small. It's nice. Kid stuff is small.
I don't know how you're doing it, but go for it.
We will do it. We're not there for very long. We're only there for 4 days or 3 days or whatever it is. But yeah, I'm excited to travel to somewhere because it's been a long time other than going to just Blade Show with my homies. But actually to go with my family somewhere will be fun. So I've just been prepping, buying stuff for vacation. And last thing we got to get figured out is we're getting some air tags to staple to the kids. Like we're just going to staple them to their chest. So that's the mental reassurance that I'm going to need to travel in public with these 2 children, is knowing that I can find them via air tag if I have to.
You could like get them to swallow it. It'd probably be all right. It'll come out the other way.
Yeah, but like I won't be able to hear the beeping when you ping them.
It's a good point.
It'd be muffled.
I used to take one of those and I'd attach it to my daughter with a carabiner,
Yeah.
I'd clip it to the inside of her jacket or to like her parka,
Yeah.
which is what you wear in Indiana because it gets cold. And my wife would get horrified. She'd be like, "What are you doing?" I'd say, "Well, she gets lost, she pushes the button, and then I know where she is." And she'd say, "That's terrible." And I go, "Well, I'm not going to lose my kid."
You're invading their privacy.
Right. You think that I'm going to trust it. I'm not. I'm just using it as a plan B.
Exactly. It's not like, hey, where'd Camden go? I'll just ding him. Let's listen up.
Right.
We got that. We got I don't know why we couldn't figure this out differently. I know why, because I didn't figure it out. Kim got these things that are like seatbelt harness things that were like little kids wear instead of a car seat, so you can like buckle them into someone else's car. That's the only thing that's going to suck to try to transport. We figured out is these little like vests that they have to wear so they can be buckled into a seatbelt of like an Uber.
Is that legal?
Yeah, they're legal.
Wow.
But it's like it connects to the seatbelts, but it's like a vest that they wear that redirects the belt around or whatever. I don't know. Kim got it. That's one thing that we don't want to have to travel with though, because that's going to take up space.
Yeah, traveling with car seats is annoying.
Every time I go to the airport and I see people dumping car seats on the check-in baggage line, I'm like, you have to carry that shit around with you everywhere. I don't even like walking from my house to my car with a car seat.
Well, there's the pumpkin style car seat, and then there's the big car seat, but then there's the booster seat. And even though your daughter is little, like, probably get away with the booster seat.
Yeah.
On a vacation like that, when you're just Ubering from the airport to the hotel, you'd be all right. But that's a really clever idea. I didn't know that was a thing.
I don't care how much car seats cost to check. I ain't carrying a fucking car seat around Las Vegas.
Yeah, it's another thing to carry around. If you have to, the way to do it is you buy one of those bags. They make a bag that you can put over your car seat. So when you check it, it's kind of luggagey instead of being a car seat with straps slapping around. Yeah. I used to have to go in my mom's car all the time to fix the car seats because she'd have it in there some cockamamie solution. I'd be like, "Mom, this isn't safe." She'd go, "What do you mean?" And I go, "This little clip thing that you have it's not load bearing. It's not designed to support the child." And she's like, "Well, this goes here. It clips on." And I go, No. That's a string, Mom. That's not what that's for. Oh,
our car seats, like they have like to stretch the lap belt through them to hold them in place.
right.
You have to like reach your arm through this little tunnel.
Yeah.
Is not designed for a man's arm.
No.
It is not designed for a man's arm. I don't know how these car seats are legal to be sold when it's almost impossible with any. I do not have a big hand or a big arm, and I cannot get my hand through this thing to reach the belt out the other side. Like Kim says, "Oh, just go put the car seat in the car." I'm like, that's a lot of work. You have to like throw it through the hole.
Yeah, my wife always played helpless on that. She'd be like, "Oh, well, we have to move the car seat." And I would go, "Okay." And she'd say, "Well, moving the car seat's just such a big deal." And I go, "No, it's not." So you're having drama with it. For me, I never had that same problem. Maybe our other brand was different, but to me, it was a 3-minute problem. You could take the car seat out and put it back. It would take 3 minutes. It wasn't hard. But to my wife, it was always like, "Oh, I don't know how we do it in less than 3 days." No, honey, I can figure it out. It's okay. I think she was just smarter than me, and she found a way to trick me into doing it.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, I can't do this. And here I come. Yep.
You got any good Mother's Day plans going on?
Ooh, it is Mother's Day. I don't know if any of you have mothers, but Tom and I have mothers.
Yeah, my mother's
Most
even
people have
watched the
mothers.
show, probably.
Yeah, moms are watching.
Yeah.
Today was my niece's 18th birthday, so we kind of made it a Mother's Day birthday thing. That was nice.
Yeah.
And then
let's do that.
Tomorrow is officially, legitimately Mother's Day. My daughter, I bought her a card to give to mommy, and she wrote my wife's name on it rather than writing mommy. So that'll be funny. Maybe I'll write mommy on mine, and then the other one will have her name on it. That'd be funny. She said she wants to go for a run. She wants to take a nap. She wants to read her book, maybe a second nap, and then she wants to go to dinner. We were like, we can do that.
That sounds pretty low impact.
I want to go somewhere for dinner where I can get a good cocktail. I said, we can do that.
Nice.
So that's what we're doing.
Pretty solid.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're doing, but Kim's all I know is she doesn't want to cook breakfast for the kids. That's all I know. That's number one on her priority list of things she does not like doing is cooking breakfast for the kids.
I think you got this one.
Yeah, they'll have my famous sugar bread. White bread with some sugar sprinkled on it.
It's made of sugar.
No, we had Kim's mom's Mother's Day was today out in the burbs, and we went out there and had Vietnamese food for days, and it was like I haven't had Vietnamese food for a long time. Like I don't eat it. Like I used to eat it all the time, and I burned myself out. And then now I get stuff sent home with Kim constantly of like stuff that should be legitimately good, but I just like don't have a taste for it anymore. I went out there for pho, which used to be my jam, but I was never a big fan of Kim's dad's pho. It's good, but it's just not my spice palate. This was good. This was good pho today. It was like the meat wasn't like cheap, crappy Vietnamese restaurant garbage meat. It was like sous vide steak, and it was good.
Yeah, I don't want to point fingers, but the last couple times I've gotten pho, the meat has been like recycled boot leather.
Yeah.
And I just pull it out and set it aside because it's not edible.
Mm-hmm. No, this was sous vide cooked, very tender steak. It was very good. Then we had apparently strawberries are ready somewhere. Everyone keeps on saying that strawberries are ready here, and like they're not ready here. I don't know why that's a thing. They're ready in like Mexico or something because we had a really good strawberry pie shortcake thing. It was
yeah, they're past peak in Indiana.
What's that?
They're past peak in Indiana. Strawberries.
They're already past peak.
Yeah.
They've already had strawberry season.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Yeah, usually strawberry season's not until like for a couple weeks here.
If you go to a nursery that's growing strawberries, then you could have already gone and picked them.
Okay.
If you grow them in your backyard, it's a little slower. It's how dare you, David?
If you want to see some wild shit, like there's jokes about eating dog, whatever. Go to northern Vietnam, like near the Chinese border. It's not like the rest of Vietnam. Like they have big billboards. You're going on a bus to go to Ha Long Bay, where all those big islands out in the water are, and you're like in rural northern Vietnam, and there'll be a big billboard, and there'll be a picture of a husky on it, and because that's what's for dinner, and they ain't shy about it. It's like good eatings.
Well, maybe someday I'll try it.
That was the most culturally shocking thing that I saw on that trip, I would have to say.
Yep. I had a thought when you were talking about Vietnamese food, and now I can't pull it out of my tiny little brain.
Everyone, all they know is pho. That's what's funny about it. It's the only thing anyone's ever had from Vietnamese food is pho.
Yeah.
Or banh mi sandwiches. Those are good too. I like a good banh mi.
I definitely get more Thai than I get Vietnamese. So yeah, I'm not as experienced with it. My friend eats mountain lion. Really? You're not supposed to eat predator. I didn't know you could eat mountain lion.
I didn't know there's enough mountain lion to go around to eat.
What do you mean?
How many of them are there? There's not that many of them. They're not like people.
Yeah, there are. Yeah, they're out there. There's a lot of them.
They're out there. I'm just saying
they're not rare.
It's not like a big thing. You go to the store and order any. Is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, you can't get it at Costco.
No, you have to go hunt it down yourself.
You have to go make your own.
Yeah.
So if you're eating mountain lion, then you're pretty hardcore because they're hard to find and then hard to kill. But on top of that, I don't think you're supposed to eat predators. That's how you. It's not good. Mountain lion tastes similar to pork. There's a barbecue spot I like to hit in Dayton, Ohio, Tom, that has burnt ends on the menu. And I love burnt ends.
Yeah.
Love them. I order these all the time, and they are not burnt ends. I think it's just sliced up pork, sliced up beef roast.
Yeah.
There's a trick where you can take like a beef roast and you can make it eat like a burnt end, but it isn't. I'm pretty sure these are fake.
You just like char the outside of it, or what is it?
You basically cube it, and then you rub it in mustard, and then you slow cook it for 1,000,000 years, and then you smoke it, and then you fry it in a pan with butter, and then you like hard so that it gets crispy, and then you marinate it in barbecue sauce, and you let it sit for 10 hours, something like that. Like, it takes a long time to do it, but there's ways to do it. So,
ooh, burnt ends do sound good. They have burnt ends. Oh, on the weekends at my favorite barbecue restaurant. Cameron calls it chewy meat. He likes his chewy meat, and I can get on board with chewy meat.
Chewy meat, yeah. I just had that yesterday, and I could have more. Even the fake burnt ends is better than no burnt ends.
Now I'm trying to remember. So is there, which ones do you want? You want the beef burnt ends or the pork burnt ends? Now I'm trying to remember which ones are the good ones.
I don't know that there's such thing as pork burnt ends. Beef is what they always serve.
Okay.
It's part of the brisket.
Oh, okay. That's right. Brisket burnt ends. Yeah, the place I go serves both. It has the pork and the beef, but only must be the beef on the weekends, and they sell out, and you have to order it in and stuff early in the day before it's all gone.
Well, if you think about a big like brisket, only a small piece of the end of the brisket is the burnt end.
Yeah.
I forget what side it's on. I don't know if it's on the end or if it's on the end, but it's the end of the meat. So you can only make so many based on how many briskets you cook a day. So yeah, they generally sell out quick.
Well, now I'm hungry. I had lunch, but I had the pho, but the pho mostly water, mostly broth.
Sure.
So I'm gonna have to get some dinner here shortly. I think Kim ordered food while we've been here.
Well, I think we've eclipsed all of our knife talk. We should probably talk next week about Blade Show, about what to bring to Blade Show and how to navigate Blade Show and what to look for. And we can cover that with everybody. That'd be a good topic for next week.
I think so.
We need to get Danny EDC back on the show.
Yeah.
Sweet Danny has been out there getting it done on the range. And I've been seeing lots of reels from her and her competitive shooting. And I'd love to hear her talk about it because also she's been shopping on eBay. But yeah, you can see in her picture there, she's firmly in control of her Glock and laying down suppressing fire. But yeah, Danny is a knife collector and shooting enthusiast, and that wouldn't be bad. Danny, or maybe if you're available sometime, we'll have you on. Didn't we have a few other guests we were flirting with to get on the show?
Yeah, but they were all like difficult to arrange ones, and then I got unmotivated because like Cedric and Ada is supposed to come on the show at some point, but then we got to deal with
his name.
Yes. Pete with Cedric and Ada is supposed to come on. Then we had to figure out that whole time difference thing. And Shabazz is a weirdo. And yeah, there's other guests that were, they're extra work. So I have not put the extra work into lining them up yet. But we should think of some new ones to add to that list because the list is now like, I think it was Pete, Nick, Eric Lesser, maybe one or two others. But we got to think of some new guests to bring on board.
Yep, I keep asking Countess Ann, and she keeps saying, "Yeah, my English isn't very good." I'm like, "Yeah, it is." And then Sergio, I'm like, "Hey, Sergio, come on the show, talk about Kunwu," and he'll go, "Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe after my next trip to China." I go, "When's that?" I go, "In 3 months." I'm like, why then? Why not now? Why not now? I know you're awake. I know you're over there, like replying like a mad genius in your group. Just come on the show, talk some shit.
That's our biggest hurdle always with guests is there's always like I have to do this before I can go on the show because I have to talk about this thing that hasn't happened yet.
I want to bring Chris Ortiz on the show from Cerberus Knives so we can talk about his badass folding knife project that he's been working on for years. And I've seen protos. I've seen pictures of protos, and they're unbelievable. And when that comes out, everybody's going to want it. But he keeps saying, "Yeah, bro, I just gotta like do a thing first." I'm like, kind of don't. You could do this. You can talk to us now and later. You could do both.
Yeah.
So challenge thrown to Chris Ortiz. Come on a
Boom.
show.
I like it.
Come on often.
That too.
I bet he has opinions about pho.
Yeah. I like pho restaurants' names are my favorite. There we had Pho King down the way. And I thought it was hilarious, but I don't think it was on purpose. Like Pho King was, I never went there, but it was the one I remember. I will always remember where it was.
That would be a good show, or it'd be a good place to go. Pho King. We used to have a bakery in Indianapolis called For Real Dough.
It's pretty good.
It was really good. They sold bread. Well, everybody, stay moist. Stay moist.
Moist.
Alexa, play Stay Moist.
I don't know that one.
Oh, dang. Everybody's Alexa just went off. You're welcome, everybody. Thanks for watching. We'll catch up with you next week, and stay on.
Moist.
Talk to you later.
Bye.